Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about a schema that's usually at the core of what most people label as attention-seeking behaviour. This particular schema is often really obvious for other people to see when it's been activated in our system. At the same time, it can be one that's hidden under a perception that makes it extremely difficult for us to see at first. So today, let's talk about the schema of approval and recognition seeking. When the schema of approval and recognition seeking has been activated within our personality system, it leaves us with either an excessive emphasis on gaining the approval, recognition, or attention from other people, or it gives us a focus on fitting in at the expense of developing a secure and true sense of self. When this schema is dominant, our feelings of belonging, self-esteem, confidence, being loved and cared for are dependent primarily on the reaction of others rather than our own internal knowledge of what we're doing being enough. The stories that are connected to the approval and recognition seeking schema might not always be obvious for us to see at first. They can sometimes be hidden by a part of our personality that's acting on the dominance of this schema being in our system. For example, there may be an internal narrative that's generating the belief that we see ourselves as being quite humble, maybe sacrificing our needs and doing things for other people whose needs are actually greater than ours are right now. However, the actions that we're taking actually lack humility, and if these things aren't recognized or acknowledged by the people that we're doing them for, then there's a reaction in our system that creates a negative emotional experience, causing us to spiral into some kind of angry or avoidant behavior, trying to cope with this lack of acknowledgement. This schema can also include an overemphasis on our status through appearance, social acceptance, money, or achievement as a means of gaining approval, admiration, or attention from other people. When this elevated sense of status isn't present, it can leave us feeling a loss of dignity, and this frequently results in making major life decisions that are inauthentic or unsatisfying, or it can leave us with a hypersensitivity to what we perceive as rejection. In my old life, seeking the approval of others was a big part of the way I did things at times. In social situations, even though I was an introvert by nature, I developed extroverted behaviours so I could get the recognition of my peers that would stop my anxious, fearful attachment style from being overwhelming in my system. If I didn't get the approval I was looking for, I'd spiral into people-pleasing behaviours so I could hear what it was that I needed to hear at that particular time. It was also the case that at times I felt like there was a part of me that was screaming, "Tell me that you love me. Tell me that we're friends, and tell me that you won't leave me." When I didn't get the feeling that these things were true, it translated on the outside to someone who was sometimes throwing temper tantrums, basically trying to draw attention to this need for recognition. I spent a significant number of years trying to figure out why this story was in my system, never seeming able to discover the plain truth on my own. Even when I worked with a therapist, we came to the conclusion that we'd never really know where this had come from. We assumed it was an unmet childhood need, but decided there was no point in dwelling on the quest for information. So I have to say, it was extremely comforting and definitely relieving to learn where this schema had come from. And it was actually somewhat fortuitous how I came by this priceless information. Several years ago, my mom was visiting from England and we were discussing a situation with my daughter. I was trying to motivate her to do something that she didn't want to do. To my surprise, my mom informed me that, "Oh, that was easy for me to do when you were little. I used to just say, if you don't do what I want you to do, I won't be your friend." And so the metaphorical light bulb was finally turned on for me. It suddenly all made sense. My people-pleasing behaviors came from this probably innocuous family dynamic. And now that I knew the reason, I could finally work on letting go of this desire to people please. Now, I want to be really clear on something, so please believe me when I say that I've got absolutely no ill feeling or condemnation of any kind for the origin of this story. In fact, I'm extremely aware that I was loved and cared for greatly as a child. It just happened to be that this wasn't in a way that my highly sensitive parts needed to be loved at that time, and that's nobody's fault at all. Using the skills of dialectical behavior therapy integrated with the theories of schema therapy helped me to let go of this story. This was a liberating experience for me. I no longer needed to be everybody's friend, and when there was a part of me that kind of fell into that old way of doing things, using the skills of stop, checking the facts, and planning ahead to build mastery helped me to develop the narrative that I needed to develop so I could mindfully remind that little boy inside of my personality system that this situation was not 1976. Giving away my age a bit there. That was then and this is now. Teaching my parts that I actually have the skills to deal with anything that comes my way as a healthy adult, and if someone doesn't like me for who I am, I don't need to get their approval for anything I do, is the essence of what we call unconditional self-acceptance. At the bottom of the website page that's connected to this video, you'll find a PDF that contains a worksheet that's designed to help you figure out if the schema of approval and recognition seeking is one that plays a significant role in your own personality system. If you can, download the PDF and take some time to work through the questions. Now, if you've got an opinion on this, or actually anything else to do with the integration of DBT and schema therapy, please leave a comment in the chat. I'd really like to hear your point of view. If you want to know more, come join the live online meetings that I facilitate each week on Zoom. I'll leave some links to those groups in the description below. And as always, if you like the content of this video, please subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and turn on those notifications to get all the latest from me and the Liberation Place. I really hope this video gave you some ideas on how the schema of approval and recognition seeking might be something that's relevant in your own personality system. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Take care, be safe, and be well.